Hokage, Uchiha Prodigy unlocks ultimate analysis system. Episode 71. The three looked away. I saw that at the moment when the thick fog was blown away by the violent hurricane. A blue spear pierced Kikuto's body. The storm went to the left, which was originally the location of the sneak attack, and Uchiha Yen turned to the other side in an instant. This flash not only dodged the storm, but also hit Jiaodu twice. Chidori Sharp Gun. The azure blue Chidori Sharp Spear, connected to that mask monster, pierced Kikuto's shoulder. Kill two birds with one stone. It worked. Got it? The three people who saw this scene were overjoyed in their hearts. No matter what identity the other party is, as long as the person is killed, he will die. Now Uchiha Hiko's thunder ninjutsu has penetrated the body of that enemy, killing him along with his psychic beast. It's not a victory, however, they have shallow knowledge and do not know that some people in the ninja world are killed, and they will not die. Uchiha Hiko's sudden stab really smashed a mask monster, but Kikuto's body was not stabbed to the point. Even if it is stabbed in the heart, the horn can still have 3 hearts. Little ghost, how dare you? Jiaodu was furious, and withstood Lei Duan's paralysis, and withdrew his body from the thousand birds sharp spear. This willpower alone is enough to support him to become a strong man. In other words, other people, under the paralysis of this thunder, have long lost their ability to act. It's a pity. Revoke the Chidori Sharp Gun, Uchiha Yen lamented. This blow just now, if it was the chakra blade of the black knife, then he would cut the horn in half with one sword. But it can't be cut. Kikuto is old, but his reaction ability is still at his peak. The Uchiha Wind Sword, which was used by the general, was reacted by Kikuto, dodged the point, and launched a wind escape counterattack. That violent wind and oppression, he must not be shaken. Therefore, he used the instantaneous technique at the moment of the attack and transferred to the blind zone of the wind. At this moment, the black knife in his hand is still in the state of chakra. If he attacks with a knife again, when the blade falls, there is a wind mask monster in front, and the horns will definitely be able to react again. At that time an attack opportunity was missed. Therefore, he used the mid-range stabbing ninjutsu of the Chidori Sharp Gun in an extremely precious and short period of time. The effect is also obvious. With just one blow, you destroy a mask monster. The cutting ability of the Chidori Sharp Gun is not as good as the black knife chakra blade, but the piercing power is not covered. Seeing the death of the wind mask monster, Kikuto's heart was dripping blood. The heart of the wind attribute is quite rare. He can find 10 fire ninjas and earth ninjas, but they may not be able to find a satisfactory wind ninja heart. This loss is too big for him. Stinky little devil, slaughter you. Jiaodu, who was furious, suddenly tore open his black robe. It turned out that not only the thread marks on his right arm, but his entire body was covered with thread marks, like a broken corpse that had been stitched together one by one. Its appearance is quite terrifying. Uchiha Hiko's eyes froze slightly, and Sharingan's eyes focused on Kikuto's every movement. I saw that dense black whiskers emerged from the remnants of his thread marks, and several strands were longer, reaching out towards his right hand that fell to the ground. As soon as the black whisker made contact, Ben's right hand, which had been cut off to the ground, actually moved again. Little ghost, your attack is ineffective against me, but now that I have seen through you, so obediently die. Kikuto shouted angrily, and the right hand connected to the black whisker actually rushed towards Uchiha like a rocket. One of the reasons why Sharingan is so attractive is its clever insight. Although Kikuto's tentacle punch came suddenly and was extremely fast, in Uchiha Hiko's Sharingan's eyes, it became at least 3 beats slower, and this gave him enough time to dodge. Uchiha Yen slightly sideways half a step, is to brush shoulders with tentacle-heavy fists, so close observation of those black whiskers, only to find that they are very similar to human blood vessels. The devil knows which BT developed this secret technique. My attack is ineffective? Uchiha sneered. He looked at the black whiskers that were extending in front of him, and quickly lifted the black knife. Chop. A cold light flashed, like a shooting star falling in the night sky. Kikuto's right hand was cut off again. That arm flew into the distance with undiminished strength. But this time Uchiha will not give Kikuto another chance to reconnect. Fire escape, how fireball technique. A fiery fireball flew after that arm. Uchiha turned around. Without even looking, the fireball would definitely catch up with the arm that flew out and burn it to the ground. Kikuto looked at the explosion in the distant sky, his eyes burst out, and the anger in his heart was like adding fuel to the fire. Damn little ghost, you dare to burn my arm. Not only do I dare, but I dare to continue. This is to ask you angry or not. First the wind mask monster, then an arm. How can the horns not be angry? Most importantly, what he is facing is just a little ghost. Suddenly, what did the horns remember? He thought back to the thunder ninjutsu that Feng Kai had never seen before, and a bold guess arose in his heart. Could it be that Lei Dun is? Episode 72, Extinguishing Arrows with Fire. No. Even Kakuzu himself denied his guess first. When he came out of the gold exchange, the lightning style he saw really caused a change in the atmosphere. Such a lightning style, even the Hokage of Konoha village in the land of fire, would cost a lot of money to use, right? How could it be used by the Uchiha kid in front of me? That kid just took advantage of a few escapes. Now that he has seen through his fighting style, the next step is to kill him and take his heart. A young heart is better than an old one. Kakuzu parted his mouth and gave a nasty smile. Fire style head hard. He used his tentacles to seal. This move fire style is very powerful. If combined with wind style, it can really create a sea of flames. However, the wind style masked monster has been killed. However, only with the current fire style. He is also confident to kill everyone in front of him. A bunch of brats, nothing worth mentioning. Snapped. Reality slaps Kakuzu hard. In front of the tide of flames, Uchiha Hiko calmly stuck the black knife in his hand vertically on the ground, and finger shadows flew on his hands. He has already learned one-handed seals, and even some highly proficient ninjutsu, which can be performed with only the most critical seal. But now, he has started to make madras with both hands. When Kakuzu's fire wave was about to reach him within 5 meters, he sucked in a sudden breath. The range of 5 meters is quite a dangerous range. Uchiha Hiko didn't hide. Hee, playing with fire style in front of Uchiha. It's a classmate. Fire style, huge fire extinction. Boom. The fire style transformed from high-quality chakra is a bit darker than the fire style used by veteran ninjas like Kakuzu. In an instant, like an arrow, it hit Kakuzu's head hard. The flame arrow scattered the flame tide and lined up towards the two sides. The flame temperature displayed by fire style ninjutsu is almost the same, but the deeper flame of Uchiha Hiko means more density. That kind of fire style impact ability can be hedged against water style for several seconds, not to mention Kakuzu's scattered range of fire style ninjutsu. That flaming arrow is the scissors, and Kakuzu's flaming wave is the silk. Which one is higher and which one is lower, you will know immediately. Kakuzu looked at the ever-approaching flame arrow, and there was no slightest contempt in his pair of green eyes, even a trace of fear. This brat's fire style ninjutsu has already surpassed mine. At such an age, could it be that he was also the lightning style before? Kakuzu thought to himself. Seeing the flaming arrows tearing his fire style head hard, Kakuzu didn't dare to be careless anymore, and immediately used the safest water style water barrier. One water barrier was not enough. Kakuzu once again made a seal with his tentacles. Earth style earth flow wall. With the water in the front and the soil in the back, it is finally possible to block the terrifyingly powerful flame arrows. Kakuzu breathed a sigh of relief, but he still didn't dare to let his guard down. Instead he regarded Uchiha Hiko in front of him as a real opponent of the same level. Little devil, I have to admit that your ninja talent is stronger than anyone I have ever seen in my life. Your talent is really enviable. Kakuzu said in a serious tone, if you give me your heart, I can change it for you. Well, keep it. When the voice fell, Kakuzu didn't leave any room for it anymore. Although it was embarrassing to use all his strength against a kid, he didn't dare to continue playing like this. Otherwise, his remaining heart will have to be destroyed sooner or later. With the eruption of chakra on his body, the remaining fire, thunder, and water hearts all escaped from the body. It turned into a ghost-like monster with strange shapes, adding the soil attribute of his body. From now on, it will be 4 against 3. This is also the tactic that Kakuzu is proud of. He is originally a ninjutsu type, using ninjutsu of various attributes to blast the enemy to death. Should die, brat, even though you are not the heart of wind style, I am still willing to accept you. Kakuzu let out a low growl, and the 3 masked monsters around him rushed towards Uchiha Hiko. That monster looks strange and deformed, but its speed is indeed quite fast, and it even has a little ability to stay in the air. Fire style masked monsters and lightning style masked monsters jumped up, and chakra gathered in the mask's mouth. And before a blink of an eye, fire-style ninjutsu and lightning-style ninjutsu were formed. Flame balls and lightning, full of killing intent, 820 attacked Uchiha Hiko. Boom 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 boom. The withered grass is flying, and the dust is everywhere. Unfortunately, none of them hit Uchiha Hiko. His instant body technique now does not need any seals, nor any stiffness. As long as there is enough chakra, he can always be instant body. In such a state, how could he be tricked? The brats who jump very fast, what about them? Kakuzu's eyes flashed a glint of complacency. While the fire-style mask monster and the lightning-style mask monster attacked Uchiha Hiko, the separated water-style mask monster rushed towards the 3 of Tsunade. Uchiha Hiko secretly exclaimed that something was wrong. Kakuzu, this guy started playing dirty, and he can't help it. There is still a little way to win by attacking him head-on. Relying on a lot of information on Kakuzu, there is always a chance to grind him to death. However, this old thing started to play such shameless tricks, and he was exhausted. One lost his mind and almost got hit by a fire-style mask monster. In that case, then I won't be polite. Uchiha Hiko's face was stern, as if he had made up his mind. Episode 73, Don't Like Nonsense Wind Style Yen. Uchiha Flow Wind Ranbu. It says it's a flurry of winds, but it's actually a blade storm of flaming blades mixed with Chakra's blades. It has nothing to do with wind style. That is a wide-ranging swordsmanship, and the target of the swordsmanship he uses is Kakuzu's body, as well as the entangled fire-style mask monster and lightning-style mask monster. The water-style mask monster kills the 3 of Tsunade. Then, he will come to Surround Wei and save Zhao once. Find out if Kakuzu wants to die, or live. As that flaming blade winds up a blazing storm, the storm is mixed with finely shattered light blue chakra blades. Everything within reach, regardless of grass or rocks, will be turned into fly ash in an instant. The range of ninjutsu has gone a long way, but with such a huge range of swordsmanship, let alone Kakuzu, maybe Kakuzu's own father has never seen it. The 2 entangled fire and thunder mask monsters were kept within a range of 20 meters. At this distance, their ninjutsu is the easiest to hit, and they can continue to suppress Uchiha Hiko. In that way, no matter how fast Uchiha Hiko's body flicker technique is, it cannot withstand continuous consumption. However, it was precisely Kakuzu's confident 20-meter range. The radius of Uchiha Flow Blizzard Dance is as long as 40 meters, and that devastating attack smashed the fire and thunder mask monsters into pieces in an instant. The fragments of the masked monster turned into fly ash in the blazing flamestorm. Burn it clean, what? Seeing this scene, Kakuzu was already horrified. Regardless of the excellent fire style talent or the excellent transient technique, there is nothing wrong with gathering these on one Uchiha kid. Just think of him as the leader and genius of this generation of the Uchiha clan. The genius who died at the hands of his Kakuzu. I am afraid that 100 is used as a unit. But, what is this incomparable flame and blade storm in front of me? What kind of technique is this? For the first time, he was horrified by an imp who was not a fifth his age. All the unbelievable things appeared on him, which made Kakuzu have to think of the shocking lightning style. Even though he repeatedly denied it in his heart, thinking that it was impossible for a brat to use such a lightning style. But seeing this brat's secret skills emerge endlessly, he had to think about that. Earth-style Earth Flow City Wall. In desperation, Kakuzu hastily performed a large-scale defensive Earth-style ninjutsu. He didn't dare to use the small Earth Flow Wall to block, but directly used the Earth Flow Wall. Both the Fire-style Mask Monster and the Lightning-style Mask Monster died suddenly, and the Water-style Mask Monster is still in the direction of the opposite carriage now. His body only has one heart. There is only one heart in the main body, which means that once his current body is hit to a vital point, he will face death. Boom! The violent wind dance hit the Earth Flow City wall, and the storm-like dense sword attack directly chopped the thick earth wall into powder. Call. Uchiha Hiko took a deep breath. This move was listed by him as a forbidden technique sword skill. It consumed him a lot. This technique has a considerable burden on physical strength and chakra. However, the effect was satisfactory, and Kakuzu's two ghost sons were cut to pieces in one go. Looking back, the water attribute masked monster was already approaching the three of Tsunade. In just a few seconds, it has been opened wide. Although those three people had taken Bitesy Bingliang pills, chakra, physical strength, and mental state were fully recovered. However, the gap in strength is still too great. Just a face-to-face encounter, the water-style masked monster, one in each hand, smashed the Orochimaru Jiraiya who was facing him into the air. Only Tsunade is left, still guarding in front of the carriage. Chakra. In Uchiha Hiko's Sharingan, the chakra is converging towards the mouth of the water-style mask monster. That's ready to unleash water-style ninjutsu. With Tsunade's current small body, Kakuzu's water-style ninjutsu is absolutely irresistible. But, at this moment, he didn't rush to save Tsunade. Instead, he ran towards Kakuzu's body at a very fast speed, and at the same time made a knot seal with both hands, and suddenly met Kakuzu's green eyes. Illusion, Sharingan. A pair of blood-red Sharingan kept magnifying in Kakuzu's field of vision. Suddenly, he saw himself being pierced by Uchiha Hiko. This earth attribute heart is the only heart in the body. If destroyed, he must die. He almost subconsciously manipulated the water-style mask monster far away to make it return to its original body. Only then can he live. However, in reality, Uchiha Hiko is more than 20 meters away from Kakuzu, and he didn't have the grasp to pierce Kakuzu's heart. What Kakuzu saw just now was just an illusion, but only when the fear of Uchiha Hiko truly arises in his heart will his nerves be so sensitive. This kid's teleportation is too fast, and he can't tell whether it's an illusion or reality. After all, it's time to bring back the water-style mask. The ninjutsu accumulated by the water-style mask monster was suddenly revoked, and he was forced to move quickly away from Tsunade and flew towards Kakuzu. As the water-style mask monster returned to his body, chakra returned to his body, disrupting Kakuzu's flow of chakra, and he instantly woke up from the illusion. That illusion has not reached the level of free manipulation of illusion time, nor can it kill people in the illusion. It's just that Kakuzu saw a little bit of a false vision in advance. Although it was just a small illusion, it had an extraordinary effect in this battle. I didn't expect that I would be tricked by Sharingan's illusion. Kakuzu sneered. Suddenly, his sneer froze on that ugly face. A familiar scene appeared. The scene I just saw in the illusion was like previewing my own death in advance. I saw that when Uchiha Hiko was at a distance of 15 meters. Got it. He suddenly stepped forward, and the black knife in his hand, for some reason, turned into a humming incandescent chakra shuriken. From above, he sensed the nature transformation benevolence of wind-style chakra. This, Kakuzu was shocked. His eyes widened. By the way, this brat just had two-handed seals and no weapons in his hands. This brat is so scheming, counting thousands of calculations and being extremely cautious. He only thought about what kind of novel ninjutsu this brat would come up with, but he ignored some minutiae. Details make a difference. At this time, Kakuzu wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Earth-style soil. Uchiha Hiko looked at Kakuzu at a close distance. The seal in his hand was intended to use Earth-style to harden his body. I don't like to talk too much nonsense with the enemy, so die wind-style spiral shuriken. Episode 74, The Death of Kakuzu, The Worship of the Three. In terms of zero-distance attack power, The spiral shuriken is stronger than fire style, lightning style, and swordsmanship. Even if Kakuzu's body transformed by the secret technique is cut in half by a sword, it is unknown whether he will die on the spot. Chidori's destructive power is like that. It is very difficult to destroy two hearts at the same time. I won't talk about fire style at close range. Wind style spiral shuriken is an S-level ninjutsu derived from the Rasengan that he first learned and analyzed through the system. According to the analysis of the system, he also mastered the wind attribute by the way. It is the third attribute he has mastered. Moreover, even if it is cast in non-sage mode, it will not cause any damage to his body. The analysis and optimization function of the system directly eliminates the disadvantages of ninjutsu and strengthens the advantages. This ninjutsu is to turn the wind attribute chakra into fine needles, directly attacking human cells. It is also the strongest wind-style ninjutsu he has seen so far. It's ridiculous, I still want to use earth-style hardening to resist. Uchiha Hiko sneered. The incandescent energy that exploded after hitting 360 is like countless fine wind-style needles, stabbing Kakuzu's body continuously. Look at the body that was hardened and blackened by earth-style, and still pierced by wind-style. In Kakuzu's painful eyes, he seemed to see the dawn. The light of the spiral shuriken is like the white belly rising from the east, a ray of dawn that separates the sky and the earth. After being hit by this ninjutsu, he found that he couldn't move his body, can't even use the simplest body replacement technique. I'm afraid the meridians of the whole body have been cut off by wind-style. I'm going to die in the hands of a brat. What a trick of fate. Think about it, the ninja who performed the task of assassinating first Hokage, even though he failed, escaped from the wood-style secret technique. It's an honor, but today, he has to be sacrificed in the hands of a kid from Konoha. This may be called fate, CDDF. Boom. With Uchiha Hiko's sudden push, the last chakra of the spiral shuriken in his hand exploded. That terrifying power immediately blasted Kakuzu's body tens of meters away, and when he was in the air, he died, like a kite with broken strings that was shot through, and fell into the wet and cold grass. Phew. Uchiha Hiko panted heavily, using large ninjutsu one after another, and continued to blink, but also to maintain the power of each blow. What he consumed was not only a lot of chakra, but also mental energy. He can breathe a sigh of relief after completely killing the legendary ninja. At this moment, when the mood is relaxed, the body seems to be exhausted. A few people in the distance are still in a daze. The terrible monster was still raging in front of them just now. Why did it suddenly disappear? Immediately afterwards, there was a flash of light on Uchiha Hiko's side. They looked in the direction of Uchiha Hiko. The dawn light gradually shone on this land, shining on him, like a kind of holy baptism. The three of them looked at the figure who was hunched over tired but possessed an incomparable sense of security, and only admiration remained in their hearts. That figure seemed to be engraved into their souls. It will never be forgotten. He tried his best to pull them back from Huangquan Road. The former voice is the call from three people, and the latter is a strange voice. They looked around, and saw a few ninjas wearing animal masks approaching from a distance. That's Konoha Umbu. But why did the people of Umbu call him by his name directly? Uchiha Hiko looked carefully and found that the person speaking was short in stature, with a bunch of white hair exposed behind the mask, so he understood. There is only that person who has such a sense of familiarity and such physical characteristics. Even if Umbu recognizes him during the mission, he cannot be called by his name. Uchiha Hiko, who came from Umbu, still understands this. Therefore, he did not disclose his identity. If you come later, boy, we should all continue on our way. Sorry. We rushed over as soon as we saw the signal. Where's the enemy? Has it been resolved? As he spoke, the white-haired boy pulled out a cold-looking short sword from behind. The white short sword, exuding slight fluorescence, just looks extraordinary. However, Uchiha Hiko pointed to Kakuzu's body. The enemy is over there. You can have tens of thousands to your heart's content. Following Uchiha Hiko's pointing, several Umbu stepped forward one after another. When they saw the face of the enemy, they couldn't help being stunned. What kind of pervert mentality is it that you sew so many needles and threads on yourself? But as they took a closer look, they realized that it was not ordinary needlework, but a secret technique. This body seemed to be hacked to pieces in an instant by an extremely fast attack method. The meridians of the whole body have been destroyed. A dog-faced Umbu exclaimed in surprise. The only one who can do this is the White Eyes of the Hyuga clan plus Gentle Fist. But, he is Uchiha. No, look carefully, it's not the method of the Hyuga clan. The older Umbu focused on analyzing the traces on the corpse. The more they analyze, the more frightened they become. Only now did they know that in this world, apart from the Hyuga clan, there are other methods to attack the meridians, that is to destroy all the meridians in the whole body. This method is too terrifying. They were analyzing and examining the corpse, but the young white-haired Umbu looked at Kakuzu's face. Suddenly, a portrait flashed in his mind. Wait. Seniors, who is this person? Episode 75, Hataki Shirao, who doubts life again. This person is Takigakure, rebellious ninja, who is wanted by Sendame. Kakuzu. Uchiha Hiko walked over slowly and explained in a flat tone. Even if he missed the assassination of first Hokage, it must be remembered by Konoha. However, after all these years, no one can kill Kakuzu, not even find him. This is Taki Shinobu, who tried to assassinate Lord First Hokage? An older Umbu exclaimed in surprise. Many young people know little about the deeds of first Hokage Senju Hashirama, but the assassination of special forces is different. They have more contact with things, especially murder. Once a person is on the list, his relevant information will be noted. Yes, absolutely right. Although there are some other traces on his body, he is right. The young white-haired Umbu said with certainty. That face was extremely similar to the faces on the wanted list in his memory, and he also believed that Uchiha Hiko would not lie about this kind of thing. Hiko, did you kill Kakuzu? No, Kakuzu committed suicide. The young white-haired Umbu stood there silently, with mixed feelings in his heart. His name outside of Umbu is Hatake Tsukumo. He is a good friend with Uchiha Hiko, and used to practice together, but Uchiha Hiko graduated early, and the number of times they met became extremely rare. Later, he heard that he joined Umbu, so after he graduated, he also applied to join Umbu. After entering Umbu, he realized that he is already the team leader. He continued to work hard and followed his footsteps all the time. After all, that day in the ninja school classroom, everyone was making a fuss, only he clenched his fist silently. After 3 years of hard training, he finally became a qualified Umbu. But today, looking at Kakuzu who fell on the ground, everything seemed so pale. At least, until then, he thinks he'll catch up in Uchiha Hiko's footsteps one day. He can practice desperately and use all his strength to improve his swordsmanship. Now he has the confidence to beat the genius Orochimaru, but compared to the person next to him, he is still insignificant. Kakuzu, the ninja who once took the initiative to assassinate first Hokage, such a powerful ninja was defeated by Uchiha Hiko, which shows how terrifying the strength of Uchiha Hiko is today. Hatake Tsukumo smiled bitterly, his mood almost collapsed. Just then, the sound of Hisoka's footsteps came. He looked back and saw Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Tsunade through the hole in the mask. From their eyes, what he saw was not loss and inferiority, but worship and worry. Even people of Orochimaru's temper now look up to Uchiha Hiko with admiration in their eyes. Captain, are you alright? Orochimaru stepped forward and asked. It doesn't matter. Uchiha Hiko waved his hand, he was just exhausted too. Take a break later and just take a bitesy Bingliang pill. Seeing his weak face, Tsunade couldn't help but stepped forward and pulled his arm, put it on his shoulder, and supported him. Hatake Tsukumo watched the scene in disbelief. What exactly did Uchiha Hiko go through to make these people see him all the time? He was born in the Hatake family, so he knows a lot of truths. Not to mention Orochimaru, a genius with a cold personality. Just say Tsunade. She is the granddaughter of first Hokage Senju Hashirama, and as far as he knows, Senju Hashirama's death is inseparable from Uchiha Madara back then. In such a situation, how did he manage to make Tsunade, a proud girl from the Senju clan, come over in a hurry and bow her head to support him without any explanation? Uchiha Hiko master? The older Umbu seemed to have finally finished the discussion. They had already confirmed that the deceased was Kakuzu, and he died at the hands of Uchiha Hiko. No matter how old or young, such strength was worthy of them. Praise, since it is Kakuzu, please forgive us for the late support. It is now legal for Uchiha Hiko to use the Umbu emergency support flare. This Kakuzu is also the major criminal they want in Konoha. When Konoha Umbu encounters, if there are no other tasks, it is necessary to take relative action. Can track, can report whereabouts, of course, can shake people to kill. Uchiha Hiko said nonchalantly, since I've killed them all, it's God's favor, you should hurry back and carry out your tasks. Yes. Then, do you need our help with the disposal of the corpse? No, don't bother, I'll just seal the corpse, I'll escort the mission to the end, and I'll just go back and report it. Yes. I wish you success, my lord. Understood, thanks. Finally, Uchiha Hiko set his sights on Hatake Tsukumo. Lowering his voice, he said slowly, Tsukumo, Umbu is very suitable for you. You can train yourself here. I believe you will become a powerful ninja. Remember, no matter what you encounter, don't forget your original intention. Hearing the sound, Hatake Tsukumo's eyes widened under the mask. So you recognized me? Hee, you have put your name on your head. Huh? Hurry up. Don't die. Umbu and his party leave. They also have important tasks on their shoulders. They put down everything and rushed over after seeing Umbu's emergency call for help. It's interesting enough. Since they have nothing to do now, they have to go back and continue their missions. There is no time to talk about the old days. Watch them leave. Uchiha Hiko looked at Kakuzu's body on the ground. System, analyze Kakuzu's corpse for me. Episode 76, Last Special Teaching. System, analyze Kakuzu's body for me. Uchiha Hiko said in his heart. At the same time, his hands were not idle. He took out a sealing scroll from the ninja bag and squatted down. Ding dong, remind host, Shirkai analysis of Kakuzu's body will take time, 10 days. Following the system prompt, Kakuzu's body disappeared in front of several people. However, in the eyes of others, it is as if Uchiha Hiko sealed it into the scroll. Alright, Uchiha Hiko quickly put away the scroll, and didn't let them see that there was actually a blank space on the scroll. The analysis system can analyze everything. He would like to see what 107 can be analyzed from Kakuzu's corpse. Huh. Yen, it was too dangerous just now. I almost thought we were going to die. Jiraiya saw that Kakuzu's body was sealed, and the shadow in her heart dissipated, and she immediately said, there was a water-style mask monster just now, so he and Orochimaru were slapped like chickens. Humiliation. Uchiha Hiko glanced at Jiraiya. How is the injury? It doesn't matter to me. Jiraiya hurriedly replied, it was a matter of saving face. Hey, Orochimaru, how are you? You won't be unable to walk. Cut. Orochimaru rolled his eyes in disdain. This time, he didn't argue with Jiraiya again. Perhaps, it is a change of mentality. See Uchiha Hiko battling the legendary ninja. Now, all he wants is the power zone. Tsunade asked suddenly. Yen, I saw that masked monster was about to use ninjutsu to attack me. Why did it suddenly go back? If at that time well, the three of you have done a good job. Orochimaru and Jiraiya fought for a short but extremely precious time, and Tsunade was not afraid at the critical moment. Give each of you a sea-level ninjutsu. When you go back, you can choose it yourself. Uchiha Hiko praised without hesitation. These three people are 10,000 times stronger than a certain three people in a certain era. The task of escorting the minister, because an unnamed Mr. Kakuzu wants to do a single dungeon, so the task level has been raised from A level to S level. After returning, I was given a big reward for my name. In addition to money and property, there are some special rewards. After all, the canned urine on the carriage is his cousin and brother-in-law. Putting aside the daimyo rewards for now, Uchiha Hiko couldn't wait to turn on the system as soon as the 10 days were up. Ding dong, prompt host, Kakuzu's body has been analyzed. Please check it carefully. Check. Kakuzu's corpse, an elite ninja who was born in the assassination force of Takian village. After being treated unfairly by the village, he took over the village's secret technique, Yu, and the heart of the village's high-ranking officials won. Secret technique Earth Resentment. Manipulate and control the black tentacles in the body with chakra through the secret method, which can be transformed, attacked, and can capture the heart of others, and absorb their chakra properties into the body. And you can separate and control your own limbs through the black whiskers, constantly capture the heart. You can reach the existence of the same life as the world. Secret technique, Nature Mask. After capturing the heart, it can be transformed into a masked creature. The masked creature has the original chakra nature of the heart, as well as ninjutsu. Wind style, Harm. Lightning style, False Darkness. Water style, Water Curtain. Fire style, Head Hard. Earth style, Soil Spear. Looking at the results analyzed by the system, Uchiha Hiko shook his head in disappointment. It would be great if there is a chance for others to practice such a disgusting secret technique like Earth Resentment. I just look at Ichiraku. He didn't want to turn his naked body into that kind of stitched zombie ergot. On the contrary, the ninjutsu of these 5 attributes is good. If he studies carefully, he can even directly master the 5 attributes of ninjutsu. Today is also the day we agreed with the 3 of them. It's time to leave. Coming out of the Uchiha clan mansion, he walked slowly to the southwest. That's where they first trained. The last time he was there, he single-handedly beat the 3 of them to the point where they couldn't fight back. This time, it's not about continuing to beat people, but fulfilling the promise and teaching them a little ninjutsu. When he walked slowly, the 3 of Tsunade were already waiting there, almost moldy. Hiko. Do you like being late so much? I'm sorry, I helped an old lady to cross the road on the way. Shut up, I'm tired of hearing that excuse. No, listen to me, I helped an old lady to cross the road, but the old lady pretended to fall down, trying to blackmail me. And then I took the old lady to the hospital, paid some money to cut her appendix. 54 hiss, Jiraiya shuddered. This new version sounds so scary. Seeing the obvious effect, Uchiha Hiko said slowly, by the way, have you 3 thought about what ninjutsu you want to learn today? Feel free to ask, as long as I can help you, I will do my best to help you. Jiraiya opened her mouth and gave up again. Why do these words sound the same as the routine of helping the old lady above? Just because he doesn't dare to speak, doesn't mean others dare not speak. Tsunade took a step forward, looked straight at Uchiha Hiko, and said, Captain, I want to learn the real monster power boxing, so please continue with what I taught last time. Episode 77 Tsunade influenced by Uchiha Hiko. 5th change completed. Teach? I don't know what Tsunade means. Anyway, Uchiha Hiko heard some strange meanings. It may be that the inner thoughts are too complicated. Uchiha Hiko nodded seriously, and replied, no problem, no one disturbs today. I will continue with last time Orochimaru. Jiraiya, you 2 can exchange ideas first. Finished. He ignored Orochimaru and Jiraiya's opinion at all, and led Tsunade to the distance. Tsunade, you have a lot of chakra, but you must pay attention to the details of chakra. If you want to become an excellent medical ninja in the future, this is also a must. Last time I perceived your control of your own chakra ability, to be honest, is poor. So, now practice the control of chakra first. After that, we will talk about Kailiquan, Uchiha Hiko said. Tsunade isn't one to take criticism either. On the contrary, she was inexplicably looking forward to hearing Uchiha Hiko speak so seriously. Yes, but how do I practice the finer details of Chakra 23? She asked. Uchiha Hiko looked at Tsunade's delicate face. Kaido, I have my own skills, but they may not be suitable for you, so there are no skills for you, only thousands of repeated practice. Waiting for you, if you find the skill yourself, that is your ability. It's not that he doesn't want to talk, but that he doesn't want to limit Tsunade's space to play. Everyone's habits are different, and the direction of future development is also different. It is better to comprehend the skills of cultivation by yourself. If there are any drawbacks to the skills Tsunade comprehends, he can just propose corrections in time. Tsunade nodded, rolled up his sleeves, and started practicing on the spot. It's hard to imagine that a person from Uchiha is teaching a member of the Senju clan here. and the relationship between the two parties is quite harmonious. If this was seen by the first person above Hokage Yin Yin, everyone would be happy. He hoped so. If he was still alive, if the world hadn't turned bad, the two of them must be on that rock, looking forward to their own village. I don't know how many times I have practiced Tsunade. Uchiha Hiko squinted aside. Just listen. With a loud shout, the ground under Tsunade's feet cracked. Looking at the strength of that little fist, it must be uncomfortable to hit someone. Uchiha Hiko stood up and walked forward. Come on, do it again, let me see your practice. As he spoke, he put his hand on Tsunade's white arm. Because of long practice, my arms are wet. With Tsunade's control, the chakra began to gather on the arm at an extremely fast speed. This time, the chakra control method is obviously better than last time. The path she took before was completely wrong after being pointed out. Her cultivation method has been changed. If it was said that chakra was instilled in one brain before, and the strength was increased in a rough way, then now, Tsunade's cultivation method has the meaning of technical work. Those chakra, proportionately proportioned on her slender arms, created a layer of protection beyond her fists. In this way, first of all, the retaliation suffered in the active attack can be greatly reduced. Tsunade let out a low cry, and the fist in his hand slammed towards the wooden stake not far away. The quality of the jujube stake is not simple. Hatake Sakuma once cut down several short swords, but he couldn't cut off a piece of the jujube stake. However, when Tsunade's punch containing strange power hit it up, the thick jujube wood pile turned out to be like a burst paulownia tree. First, the wood layer cracked, then the center was shattered, and then the entire upper part was turned into dust. Bang! That force that cannot be underestimated brought the smashed Muyong to the distance. Tsunade took a few breaths, put away his fists, and looked at Uchiha Hiko. That expression was like that of a girl who ran first in the 100 meters and was waiting for a reward. Uchiha Hiko smiled, clapped his hands, and stepped forward to take Tsunade's right hand. He carefully observed the back of her palm, and after confirming that there was no injury, he said, "That's right, if you can do this, you're already halfway there." Medical ninjas must protect themselves first, do something else. 847 such as fighting. Medical ninja? Fighting? This kind of straightforward and reasonable tone caused a strange warm current in Tsunade's heart. In today's Konoha village, and even the entire ninja world, medical treatment is medical treatment, and fighting is fighting. No one has ever said that medical ninjas should go to the front line to fight. The combat team is a team dedicated to special combat. The medical team is the medical staff, condensed into a group. However, Tsunade likes and is good at medical ninjutsu, curious and persistent in fighting. Sooner or later, she has to make a choice about her future situation and lifestyle. Now hearing what Uchiha Hiko said, a bold idea suddenly appeared in my heart. And this idea is like a seed, taking root and sprouting in her heart. Tell us about the update. Usually 4 to 5 every day. Every night around 11 o'clock, it will be released at one time. Ask for support. Episode 78 Female Benefactor. Please respect yourself. For the practice of Tsunade, Uchiha Hiko is a treat, guided all the way. As for Orochimaru and Jiraiya, he also has meaning. After all, his task is to lead the team, leading the three of them to do tasks to accumulate experience. It was not his duty to teach them that it was a whim. 2 months later, Tsunade, who has mastered the strange power boxing skillfully, has become the strongest of the three. Even Orochimaru has to avoid it. That Yanjin, I am asking you for advice, please teach me how to practice. Orochimaru couldn't stand it anymore. Think about when he was in the ninja school, he was also the kind of person who was at the top, but now he is so scared by Tsunade's strange power fist that he can't lift his head. Uchiha Hiko looked at the sincere Orochimaru, and said, "Since you are so sincere, then I will reluctantly teach you something." Hey, Orochimaru, don't try to learn ninjutsu secretly. You hide from me and ask for advice secretly. Are you afraid that I will surpass you? Jiraiya caught up to him at some point. Shut up, idiot, I can hit 10 of you. Seeing Jiraiya, Uchiha Hiko thought in his heart, just settle the matter between these two people at once. Don't you just want to improve your combat strength a little bit? For him who stands at this height now, isn't it just a matter of confidence? Okay, don't quarrel, you two. From now on, I will guide you two to train for a month. Are you ready for this month? The corner of Uchiha Hiko's mouth evoked a demonic smile. These days, anyone who asks others for advice on how to practice must suffer a little bit first. A month? Orochimaru murmured, before Kaido looked firmly in his eyes. Yes, I'm ready. Since Orochimaru is ready, so am I. Hearing this, Uchiha Hiko nodded with satisfaction, and then said, last time I asked you whether ninjutsu or endurance is important. Orochimaru answered that ninjutsu was important, and Jiraiya replied that both are equally important, so. From now on, Orochimaru 300 ninjutsu exercises. Jiraiya runs 20 laps around Konoha, then 300 ninjutsu exercises! Nani? Listening to the training content, Jiraiya almost lost her breath. Why does he have to run 20 more laps around Konoha than Orochimaru? Don't ask why. If you question my order, then give up your practice. No. I'll start now. Looking at Uchiha Hiko's face, Jiraiya's mind went blank. Only the thought of executing the order was left. Only by seeing his battle with your own eyes can you appreciate his strength. The words of such a person weigh more in Jiraiya's heart than Sarutobi Hiruzen. Practice is on the right track. Jiraiya started to run wildly, and Orochimaru started to practice wind style. No one present can practice ninjutsu 300 times a day, not to mention fatigue. There is not so much chakra in the first place, so it's a time-consuming project. It's okay to take a slow break in the middle, but you can't rest and sleep, you must finish it. As a result, Uchiha has reached 4 days. Uchiha clan land. Uchiha Hiko is taking a leisurely walk in the family, and now, no one dares to say that he is idle. On the contrary, wherever he went, he was greeted with longing eyes. As he was walking, a beautiful woman suddenly came in front of him. The beautiful woman held a baby in her arms, and as she walked, the brilliance of motherhood was overwhelming. What the hell, but anyone who is controlled by a personal wife will be unable to walk at this moment. Uchiha Hiko stood still. He stared at the beautiful woman approaching. Ah, Master Hiko. The beautiful woman kept looking after the child in her arms, until she approached and almost stepped on Uchiha Hiko. She realized that there was someone in front of her, so she quickly apologized. Loose kimono inadvertently leaked some wonderful scenery. Young yet mature. Uchiha Hiko smiled, expressed his indifference, and asked casually, boys and girls? It's a girl. Hiko-sama, her name is Mikoto. Hello girl, wait, Mikoto? Uchiha Mikoto? Yes. My surname. Our Uchiha family has added another member, with her last name, Uchiha Hiko, black question mark faced. Seeing his doubts, the beautiful woman gave a relieved smile and explained, the father of this child died in the mission 9 months ago. 9 months ago? I see through. That's really sowing the seeds and putting them in the ground. However, there is nothing funny about this matter. On the contrary, it made him respect this woman. As the only descendant of the great elders family, as a generation of geniuses who are valued by the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, he has the authority to do something. Poor Mikoto, how about you find him a foster father? You are also a ninja, so it is inconvenient to take care of a girl by yourself? Uchiha Hiko said, boys and girls are taught differently, and the beautiful woman is a ninja of the Uchiha clan, with complicated affairs. When Mikoto grows up a little, her vacation will end. By then, I may not even have time to cook for Mikoto. However, the beautiful woman shook her head with a smile. Thank you very much, Mr. Yen, for your concern, but, I forget it. It can be seen that this woman has stubbornness and loyalty engraved in her bones. That being the case, Uchiha Hiko didn't say any more. Okay, let me tell the patriarch to grant you a period of vacation. And in the future, you should do less about the affairs of the police force and take care of Mikoto more. Hearing this, the beautiful woman was extremely moved. As a ninja, she endured the pain of losing her husband for the time being, but who can understand that she is alone with her stomach full, alone, Qian Wangzhao, gave birth to a child, and alone plans for the future. Although Uchiha Hiko's approach is only a negligible help, it is also said that it is in her heart and the promise is where she needs it most. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. Master Yen, I really don't know how to thank you. The beautiful woman's tears dripped down the face of the baby girl in her arms. Uchiha Hiko couldn't help but panic when he saw the beautiful woman like this. You should sort out your emotions first. Uchiha Hiko didn't know how to comfort women, and said in a mysterious way, my generation should be the uncle generation of Mikoto, but if you mother and daughter if you want, Mikoto can be my adoptive daughter in the future. I can help you take care of this child. We are all members of the same clan, and we help each other to create a beautiful and harmonious family. Wait, hey, don't do this, I really didn't mean it. Female benefactor, please respect yourself. Episode 79 Monster Level Precise Manipulation Ability. Abstaining in a hurry. Afterwards, Uchiha Hiko was dumbfounded. Looking at the face and figure of that beautiful woman, Mikoto will definitely be a beauty in the future. There are not many Konoha female jonin, and Mikoto is one in the record, which means that she has excellent ninja talent. Now that they are all his adoptive daughters, it can't be cheaper than Fugaku. The dog is a few years older than Fugaku and Mikoto, and is almost in school now. That guy should be a Lulakon. And Uchiha Mikoto, he remembers being born in the same year as Tsunade's younger brother Nawaki. It seems that I have to find an opportunity to heal Tsunade's exclusive skill death flag. 4 days passed. Orochimaru on the training ground is about to die suddenly. If it wasn't for Uchiha Hiko's timely supply of special military food pills, in the name of Orochimaru, he might have died in this broken practice field early. Tsunade is practicing daily on the other side. Where's Jiraiya? Is hospitalized. Oh, hospitalization is okay. Phew, I think I'm going to be fast if I continue to practice like this. Orochimaru rarely complained. Uchiha Hiko chuckled, stepped forward and patted him on the shoulder. Don't worry, you have passed the first 400 levels. From now on, I will teach you the real technical work. What? Orochimaru was puzzled. it must be a great skill to be said deliberately by the person in front of him. If it's just a C-level or B-level ninjutsu, he wouldn't even say it. Completely throw that level of ninjutsu like rotten cabbage. I saw that Uchiha Hiko walked under a sakura flower tree and reached out to pick up a fist-sized stone. He held the stone in the center of both hands, and immediately, chakra overflowed from both hands. With the flow of the chakra, Orochimaru found that the stone held by Uchiha Hiko in the center of both hands was actually falling into fine powder. At that scene, it was like a senior carving master, holding a sharp carving knife, pondering over a broken stone. Orochimaru's eyes are full of wonder. A long time, Uchiha Hiko moved his left hand away, holding the stone in his right hand, and appeared in front of Orochimaru. This is. Looking at what Uchiha Hiko was holding, Orochimaru was not only incredulous, he couldn't even believe it. I saw that the stone that was randomly picked up under the sakura flower tree was carved into a portrait by Uchiha Hiko. That small figure is exactly the appearance of Tsunade, who is training in Hyuga not far away. If it's just a general idea, then that's it. However, on this stone sculpture smaller than a fist, no matter the texture of the clothes, the facial features, or even the strands of hair are clearly visible. Not only that, Uchiha Hiko didn't use any attack yet. Just by holding chakra between his hands, he did it. Surprised to see Orochimaru, Uchiha Hiko explained with a smile. This is the wind attribute, one of chakra nature transformation. At the beginning, when he practiced this skill, he just held a fallen leaf and a piece of blank paper, but after slowly becoming proficient, he increased the difficulty for himself. Not only to strengthen the strength and sharpness of the wind attribute nature transformation, but also to increase the accuracy. The use of the spiral shuriken, the ball is just the beginning. He believes that one day he will develop a wind style beyond the spiral shuriken. Now, holding a stone and carving out a portrait is just a basic operation. Orochimaru muttered, Chakra's wind attribute nature transformation. He has mastered a total of 4 wind style ninjutsu now. But those 4 are all without exception blowing and blowing wind. He also thought about learning the wind cut technique, which is more powerful in attack, but he never learned it. Now looking at the sculpture in the hands of Uchiha Hiko, he suddenly realized something. Yanjun, we escorted the minister last time, the wind style ninjutsu you performed. Well, I also practiced from this step, but that wind style ninjutsu is too dangerous, as, CDCC, you can't control it today. If you miss it, you will lose your life. You'd better not make any plans. I'll teach you something else. Wind-style spiral shuriken was given to him by system analysis, and he was able to master it because of the good foundation laid before that. The foundation of others is different from his. How dare to teach it easily? Needless to say, the power of the spiral shuriken, at this moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen may not dare to say that he can fully master that technique. Not to mention Orochimaru at this time. Orochimaru nodded knowingly, and then picked up a small stone from the ground. Is that so? He held the small stone in his hand, and chakra desperately released it in the middle. It didn't happen either. This scene really made Uchiha Hiko laugh. Even a person like him who has the foundation of the book of Uchiha dare not practice with stones from the beginning. How dare Orochimaru? Hehe, Orochimaru, you'd better find a piece of dead grass and try it. Don't try to reach the sky in one step. Yes, I see. Orochimaru was taught. He was not discouraged. He threw the stones very rationally, and picked up a piece of dead grass. Seeing this, Uchiha Hiko said, the wind attribute is thin and sharp, you should first think about how to cut this piece of dry grass. After getting the advice, Orochimaru felt a little happy, and finally embarked on a serious path of cultivation. Think about that big jerk in Jiraiya, how long he will have to lie in the hospital. Uchiha Hiko was standing beside Orochimaru waiting. Orochimaru's qualifications are many times stronger than that of a yellow-haired boy. As long as someone carefully guides him, his comprehension speed will naturally be very fast. It takes less than a stick of incense. The withered grass that Orochimaru held in his hand was neatly cut into 2 pieces from the middle. Well, great. Next is a twig. The toughness and hardness of the branches are much stronger than that of withered grass. This is a difficult point for Orochimaru. It's like a student who just learned the function formula, and you suddenly throw him an Olympiad problem. But so what? This is the world of ninjas, since being a ninja means overcoming difficulties. Now that you know the method, at most you just spent some time practicing hard. Orochimaru gritted his teeth and held the fresh branch in his hand. This time, he spent an hour. When Uchiha Hiko looked at the neatly cut branches, he nodded with satisfaction. Well, yes, Orochimaru, you really are a genius. Hearing the praise, Orochimaru was overjoyed, and asked with great expectation, so, Yanjun, can you teach me a stronger wind-style ninjutsu? Hearing the sound, Uchiha Hiko slowly put down 2 branches, and asked with a strange face, why do you think that you can learn ninjutsu like this? The practice of wind-style ninjutsu has just begun. Episode 80, because I think the styling is too silly. After speaking, Uchiha Hiko picked up a stone and threw it to Orochimaru. Come on, carve a Jiraiya. If the fidelity is lower than 85%, it is unqualified. Start. This, for, why Jiraiya? Orochimaru held the stone in both hands, not knowing what to do. To be fair, even carving a pig is better than carving a zilai, right? Unexpectedly, Uchiha Hiko had no room for maneuver at all. First, engrave Jiraiya. Second, the accuracy of the image must be higher than 85%. Start. Of course you can also choose to give up, but you should know the consequences of giving up. Orochimaru's legs trembled, his back felt cold, and the hairs all over his body stood on end. I do it, I will finish it. That's what makes sense. Orochimaru looked at the hard stone in his hand with a mournful face. Based on my just comprehension of nature transformation of a trace of wind attribute, when can I cut a stone? After cutting the stone, when will it be possible to achieve the level of precision of Uchiha Hiko? No more than 1 point, no less than a centimeter. It takes a lot of effort to peel potatoes, let alone carve portraits. This difficulty is higher than learning B-level ninjutsu. However, Orochimaru did not give up, but bit the bullet and started practicing. If it doesn't work once, do it 100 times until you succeed. Anyway, there are a lot of stones on the ground. The other side, Uchiha Hiko expected that it would take a lot of time for Orochimaru to meet the standard, so instead of waiting, he walked into the Konoha hospital. That idiot Jiraiya can train himself to be hospitalized. That is really a great talent. I don't know whether to call him stupid or to say that he has strong willpower. When he entered the ward, that stupid donkey was on a drip, reading the little H book. Not afraid of sudden death. I said, Jiraiya, you are still young. Relapse at this age is really harmful to your body. Be careful that you will become a premature man in the future. Uchiha Hiko walked in so abruptly without knocking on the door. The sound made Jiraiya tremble with fright, and suddenly felt that the comic book in his hand was boring. Ah. Jiraiya shivered several times while hiding in the quilt, and said to Kaido in shame, why are you here? I'm fine, I'm just staying here for 2 days. When I go out, it will be fine, beat Orochimaru. Hehe, you're about to get over it. I'm afraid that when you go out, Orochimaru will kill you with a wind style. What? You taught Orochimaru the very powerful wind style ninjutsu? Uchiha Hiko didn't answer, but looked at Jiraiya's comic book silently. Even with his superb eyesight, he only saw a little content in the corner. Yo, you really know how to play. Don't tell others, I beg you. Hehe, I don't have the time to smear a person. Besides, man, what's the matter with watching the content of GG uplifting? Yeah, seeing Jiraiya relieved, Uchiha Hiko shook his head helplessly. How did such a virtue become Jiraiya, one of the heroes of Sannin? I really can't figure it out. Also came out of class A. Jiraiya is like an ultimate BD, got a place in the school, and then graduated early, and then got a disciple of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Possibly, this is also called fate. Well, since this is your destiny, I will fulfill you. Uchiha Hiko said with a sudden sigh. Hearing the sound, Jiraiya looked terrified. Complete? Which one is perfect? Fate plus fulfillment? Doesn't that sound like murder? Yen, Captain, no, big brother, if you have something to say, speak up. However, Uchiha Hiko didn't attack him. Instead he took out a scroll from his ninja bag. Inside the scroll, another large scroll was sealed. Taking out the large scroll, he threw it directly at Jiraiya. That impressive weight nearly exploded in half of Jiraiya's position. The bottle next to the bed can't be beaten anyway. The big scroll has crushed the needle. Jiraiya didn't feel any pain, but just looked at the scroll in her arms expectantly. What is this? Could it be the ninjutsu you specially prepared for me? Ha ha ha, so many ninjutsu, it's enough for me to hold Orochimaru in the eye was beaten on the ground. Hehe, open it and have a look. Good. Jiraiya sat up, placed the precious scroll on the hospital bed, and unfolded it carefully, asking for flowers. See above, neither fire style nor earth style. There is no ninjutsu in his imagination. He began to doubt life. This is what? There is nothing related to ninjutsu on it, only a few personalized signatures designed by Fengwu for free. Could it be that such a large scroll is used for art signatures? IFK. Jiraiya looked at Uchiha Hiko, hoping for an answer. Seeing Jiraiya's blank face, Uchiha Hiko asked, Jiraiya, have you ever heard of the 3 great immortals? 3 great immortals? Haven't you heard? No. 0. Mount Myaboku, Ryuchi Cave, and Wetbone Forest, these 3 places are collectively called the 3 great immortal lands. There are extremely powerful summoning beast groups there, and there is also a brand new power system. If you can sign a contract with any of them, with their approval, you can not only use the summoning technique to summon them to fight side by side, but you can even go to the fairy land where they are to practice the new power system. Uchiha Hiko explained. Jiraiya was confused, but he came up with one thing. This is awesome. Anyway, he's just like this, so he can do whatever he can. Brother, that is to say, I can sign my name here, right? No, signing your name and pressing your handprint is just the beginning. Whether you can summon the toad from Mount Myaboku and get their approval is another matter. Don't think that things will be that simple. As he said that, Uchiha Hiko's eyes turned cold. Even if your summoning beast is too violent, it might attack you and eat you. Nanny? Jiraiya was so scared that she almost threw out a few drops of urine. Feelings are a double-edged sword. Maybe you will get a regular thug. Maybe you will summon a father for yourself, etc. Jiraiya looked at Uchiha Hiko and asked, Brother, since you said that the 3 holy places are so powerful, why didn't you sign the contract first? I think the last name is not you. Hearing the question, Uchiha Hiko sneered, because I think the shape of stepping on a big toad is too stupid.